Now that you've learned how to draw things in 2D and how to combine together the different line drawing skills into making more complex shapes, we're going to practice drawing three-dimensional cubes, or more specifically, isometric cubes. Now, an isometric cube has a central spine and the lines at the top and bottom project back at 30 degrees. There are other kinds of cubes you can draw, but we're going to start off with isometric cubes. Now, eventually, you need to be able to draw these freehand, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And if you find that quite difficult, I'll show you some other techniques as well. But eventually, you want to be able to sketch this out quite quickly freehand, so that you can then use this in able to aid your designing later on. So I've drawn a quick guideline up here showing how a cube is actually constructed, and I'm going to show you how to do it down here as well. So quite simply, you're going to draw the central spine first, you're going to project the lines back at 30 degrees, you're going to add the other elements to the cube. Now, just like before, drawing with our elbow, ghosting a line, turning the page, and so on and so forth. So if I turn the page around here, because I want to draw my spine sort of vertical on the page first, so again, I'm just going to ghost my line first and see how I'm doing. So that looks about right. So if I draw my central spine there, so there's my spine going down, turn the page back, and now I want to project my lines back at 30 degrees. It doesn't have to be exact, it's kind of an aim, so if you can sort of see the picture up here, you're looking for a similar effect to that. So I'm going to draw one going there, and because I've already drawn that line, I should be able to repeat it up here, and it should be roughly the same angle. And then again, I'm going to turn this around, and this is where connecting points comes in. So you can see I'm going to try and join onto that point there, and do the same down here at the bottom as well. And you can see there, they've joined up pretty well. And now we're going to do the other two sides and the top part here. Now, had I thought about this, I'd have actually started the cube down further, so it's not going to interfere with the top picture here, but still, you should be able to see what I'm doing. So now I already have my central spine, so I can ghost that line and see where it is. And now I should be able to copy that there and copy that there, because my arm's already moving in the right place. And now that we've done that, we can copy this line here, which is going to go like that. And this line here is going to go like that. And there you can see we have our basic three-dimensional cube drawn here on the page. Now, you can draw these as small or as big as you want, and you want to try to draw a series of different sort of size cubes here on this page. Again, if you run out of space, just tuck in a bit of A4 paper and continue drawing. If you find drawing freehand really hard, there are two other things you can try. The first is to ask the teacher if you can borrow your Isosketch, which look a bit like this, and they're orange, this big stack of them, and the Isosketch already has this shape down here that's the right shape for your cube. So you can see when I lie that on there, that's almost the same as the bottom of my cube. Obviously, mine's not quite perfect, but I can now use this Isosketch down here to draw my basic cube. So again, I can draw that section there. I can then do the central spine coming in the middle here. So you see that line, when it joins on with that line there, that means the line's now vertical. So I can go up like that. And again, we can now continue going around our cube by putting in the other elements of it, like this. And it's a perfect angle in that corner, which is quite a useful thing to have if you get a bit stuck. Another thing you can try and ask your teacher for is some isometric paper, which we do have a stack of. And isometric paper works by having the actual lines sort of ghosted almost behind the page. So they use either a series of triangles on the paper or a series of dots, and you can use that paper either underneath this page or to draw directly on to practice where those lines need to go. But you're aiming to be able to draw cubes in freehand, so you can really, really quickly rough out a little three-dimensional cube on your page. So I would do as many of these until you feel comfortable, but I would do a minimum of 4 on this page here. Again, aiming to get to this freehand sketch here, but don't worry if you have to use Isosketches or isometric paper, just to get the feel of how the cube actually goes on the page.